Okay, good evening. First of all, I'm Ananda, MGVB Ananda, your literature tutor for the day. A bit about me. I have completed diploma in English language and literature at Aquinas College of Higher Studies last year, and I was the gold medalist of 2026. And as of now, I'm ready for the B.Ed honors in English. That's about me, and that's enough. So let's proceed with the lesson. So if you have any doubt, any question, you can simply stop me, turn on your mic, and ask. Okay. So lesson objectives, that's not important. Yeah, we will simply put, we'll talk about, try to get a general understanding of what literature means. So forget this slide now. You just tell me, according to your opinion, what do you feel or what do you think literature actually is? What is your idea?
Literature is a subject to study about the story.
Okay, I was not able to hear you very clearly, but I think something like ability to share idea or something. I couldn't hear you very well. Okay, so that's totally fine. Yeah, could be that too. But mainly, literature is actually not what is said. It is what's not said. So to get an idea. So if there's a small example here. You may not know this stuff. So there's a drama called Caucasian Joke Circle. Unuwate Katha. In Sinhala, we call that name by Idriyura Chandra or something. He is the one who translated the drama. So in that drama, there's a very powerful scene at the very beginning. So at the very beginning of this drama, so basically it is about a war scenario, and there is a governor called Abishweli and his wife Netela, and they have a child called Michael, a small baby, like 5 or 6 months old. So during this war, what happens is the governor, the father, is killed, and Netela, the biological mother, the real mom, is trying to escape, and eventually she forgets her own child. So there is a kitchen maid. Maid means someone who is working at this governor's palace, let's say. She comes to rescue the child, and she escapes with the child. So that's about the whole drama, taking her custody and all. The thing is, at the very beginning of this drama, there are some people protesting against this governor because he is a real bad person. He doesn't listen to his people. One person says, please give me my last child. That's all he says. I'm giving you the brief idea of this drama. All he says is, give me my last child back. He's requesting his last child to, because he is actually, as of that moment, he's serving the military under governor's military. He's a soldier. His dad comes and asks for his child back. Why? If you really think about it on surface level, it just says about a person requesting his son to be released from the army. But actually what happened is he says last son. That means he had some other children as well. He had. And why do he especially request his last son to be released from the army? Because those children has joined the army and they have sacrificed their life. So this is the last child. That is why he is coming and asking for his last child to be released from the army. Because that's his only child, the only person who could take care of him when he gets old. So, simply put, literature is not what is said, it is what's not said. But at your level, for O levels, they don't expect you to go that deep into literature. They just expect you to give a surface level answer to according to your understanding. Okay, I had to explain it because before proceeding with today's lesson, you need to have a general idea about what you are learning. Okay, so first of all, I'm not going to immediately begin with the poem. I'm going to explain you how to answer essay questions. Because only then you will realize how to properly think, how to think critically, and analyze the poem or whatever literary text that you read. If I'm going too fast, you can simply turn on your mic and notify me. Okay. So first of all, you need to understand one thing. Literature is subjective. I may see something in a certain way, but you will see that in a different way. Imagine something like this. So, have you ever heard of the story called Snow White? Snow White ke කතාව අහලා තියෙනවා. There is this, yeah. So what happens in that story? There is a girl, I think it's Snow White, right? Or Sleeping Beauty, I can't remember. There's this girl, and there's a witch, and she gives this apple, and she eventually eat and falls asleep. The Sleeping Beauty, right? I don't remember. I'm sorry, but yeah, I wanted to give an idea about what you are learning. So take that apple. So that apple is here. I hope you can see the screen. Yeah. Okay. So this is the Snow White's poisoned apple. As you can see, one part of it is red and safe to eat. The other part of it is green. You could say it's either poison, it's raw, and there is a small worm peeping out, and it's not edible. You cannot eat that. So, if you take that apple and look at it from this side, this cone, now you cannot see the rest of it. Now you are seeing from one perspective, one angle, and you decide, okay, this apple is totally fine, this is totally edible. What will happen? You will, if this is poison, you will actually get poisoned and die eventually. And if you look at from the bottom half, you can see only this part. Same thing will happen. But if you look at from the right side, from this angle, you will see the worm, and you will see this as poison from this angle also. But looking at from these angles, you will think, okay, the whole apple is poison, it is not edible. I cannot eat that. Therefore, you will get to a conclusion that this is not edible, I cannot eat this, so I should throw this apple away. But let's say you haven't eaten like 3 days. This is the only thing you have to eat. This is the only thing available to eat. If you don't eat this, you will die. In such a scenario, what you should do is not just look at from one angle, you should look at from all 4 of these angles. And only then you will get an idea, which is, okay, part of this is edible, part of this is not edible, therefore, I should cut this half and eat this slice. Therefore, literature is not something like theoretical or like something direct. It's subjective, it differs from person to person. What I may say is not the same with your opinion. So you can have your own opinion, but the most important thing is the today's lesson. You have to prove your idea. You have to convince me that you are right. If you make me believe that you are right, then I will agree with your opinion. And why would I say that? Because that part is really important for your essay questions. See, this is called PBJ and T method. And you will see like, okay, nonsense. What is he talking about? I don't understand single thing. Yeah, don't worry. When I explain with more examples, you will realize. So what I want you to do is while I'm explaining this methodology, you have to take a piece of paper, better if you have a book with you, and simply write these 4 letters, P, B, J, and T. Thereafter, write this heading, point, background, justification, and thesis. While I'm explaining, you can slowly do it. Okay. So, point means the claim you are making. Just don't think about it yet. Background means the evidence or context. I will explain. Justification is how you are going to justify your background or the context you have given to agree with your point. And thesis means linking your statement back to the main argument. Just don't worry, don't panic. Imagine something like this. Now, for an example, for an instance, let's take Rahna. So I think you know her. So let's take a hypothetical scenario. Hypothetical means not real, right? So you are trying to say that Rahna is really, really evil. Whatever I say, you don't believe. You always say she is really evil. I don't like her. But I am saying that no, she is an angel. She is really good. So what I'm trying to do is to convince you, to make you believe that she is a good person. So my argument in there is Rahna is good, but you don't believe. I need to make you believe. In composition, we call this persuasive writing, to make the other person believe or agree with your argument. So I'm trying to believe someone who's not agreeing with me that Rahna is good. So I can simply say something like this. To say Rahna is good, what could I say about her? What points should I say? What claims should I make? I could say something like, Rahna is good because she is kind. Rahna is a very kind person, therefore she is kind. So my point is what? Rahna is a kind person. But just because I said she is a kind person, you are of course not going to believe it. You will say, whatever, and you will just walk away. So, in order to make you agree with me, I need to provide more context. So I will say something like this. So my point, main argument is to make you believe she is good. My point is she is very kind, and I will give more context. So I needed a pencil at some in a scenario, whatever, during a lesson or whatever, and Rahna had only one pencil. She broke it in half and gave me the other half. Therefore, she is kind. So the background, the supporting evidence to support my claim is she broke her pencil in half, the only one pencil she had, and gave it to me. Now you have to say, okay, this is what happened with her. Now you have to justify, means you have to prove your point with the context you have provided. So your point is what? She's a kind person, and the background you gave, she just broke her pencil in half and gave one half to you, one half to me, whatever. And to prove your point, we will say, because she gave the other half of her pencil and because she broke her pencil in half, therefore she is kind. Therefore she is kind. That's your justification. That's how you're gonna prove that she is kind. But until this moment, until this justification, you have proved only one singular point, which is she is kind. Now you have to what do you have to do? You have to actually I forgot that. I have to convince you to make you believe she is a good person. And the point I took was she is kind, and now I have proven my point. Then after mentioning that, I have to say something like, okay, she did this, she broke her pencil in half, therefore she is kind, and I will say, because she is kind, she is a good person. I hope you can get an idea where I'm going. So point means the claim you are making about an argument. Basically the main point, prove an argument. And the background is the supporting context, supporting evidence that you can use to prove that point. Thereafter, justification simply means justifying your answer, justifying your point with the context, with the background you have provided. And thesis means relinking what your point, whatever your point, back to the main argument. So I just gave a small contextual example. I hope you have marked this down. Actually, 4 words, you don't have to write what's underneath the claim you're making. Not important. Just PBJT, point, background, justification, thesis. That's enough. I won't make you write every single thing, okay? Most of these things that I teach are for you to remember. Now, let's look at, I'm trying to ask something.
Yeah, I didn't understand the last one.
You didn't, I heard like you didn't end up on the classroom. I cannot hear you very well.
No, the last one I didn't understand.
Last one, thesis. Oh, okay. So thesis means something like, so our argument was to prove Rahna was a good person. That's what we have to do. Our main goal, our main task. So last part comes in handy when we are trying to link our point, which is Rahna is kind, back to our main argument. Imagine like this. So if you are saying Rahna is a good person, I have to make some claims. She is a kind person, she is helpful, and whatever. She is a good friend. Those are the 3 points that I'm going to make. First point is what? She's a kind person. And I have given you the background and justification. Up to that point, you are okay. The thesis, that part is really important. What that does is, it makes the link between your point and the main argument. So your point is actually she's a kind person. That is proven from the context you have given. And your main argument is to prove her that is she's a good person. I think I have messed up my word choice. So yeah, just don't worry about it. You will get a good idea when we explain this, when I explain this further. So let's take another example. So in here, of course, you can get hold of what I'm trying to say. In here, I have clearly written an argument. You have to prove that convince me a fruit called mango exists. I'm saying that no, in this world there is no fruit called mango, and now you are trying to make me believe that a fruit called mango exists. So just forget the thesis part for now. Just tell me, if you were to make me believe that a fruit called mango exists, what points or what claims that you are going to make? Just simply tell me, what can you say? Previously, to make Rahna a good person, we said she is kind. She is helpful. That's why she is a good person. To make me believe a fruit called mango exists, what examples, so what facts can you take? Okay, that's fine. So let's say something like mango flowers exist. So my point is what? Mango flowers exist. So what I'm trying to prove, clearly see this, okay? What I'm trying to prove, a fruit called mango exists. The fruit. My point is mango flowers exist. So now I'm trying to prove my point. That is, these flowers do exist. And I can take an example, or let's say I can download an image of mango flowers from Google. That's my evidence. I will take a printout of this mango flower and I will show it to you, and I will say, okay, if photographs of mango flowers exist, then mango flowers are real. Now you can get a good understanding of this thesis part. So up to this point, up to justification, what we have done was actually trying to prove mango flowers exist. Until this moment, we did not say the fruit exists. We only have proven mango flowers do exist with using a picture of mango flowers. That's all we did. Now, previously you have asked what thesis is. So we have showed a photograph and we said, okay, this photograph exists and these flowers do exist. Now, what is our main goal? Our main goal is to prove this fruit exists in this world. Therefore, thesis comes in handy, whereas it builds the link between the main argument, the fruit, and our point, mango flowers. That's like linking bridge. There are two bays and you are building a bridge between them. Basically, you are connecting your point back to your main argument. How? You are going to say, since mango fruits grow from mango flowers, you have proven until here, until justification, mango flowers exist. Now you are arguing again, if mango flowers, mango fruits grow from mango flowers, therefore the fruit is proven to exist. Amba malin tamai amba gediya හැදෙන්නේ. That's the reason why I'm trying to say that this fruit is real. You can take another example. Maybe you can say mango seeds. Hamba you can say, okay, mango seeds exist. That's your point. And you can take the background. You can simply cut a mango, take the seed and show to me and say, this is a mango seed. You can justify your answer. How? If the mango seed is real, you can touch it physically. You are holding it in your hand. Therefore, mango seeds are real. And you are going to relink back to your argument. If the seeds are real, mango trees grow from mango seeds. Therefore, mango fruits are real. You can say seeds are in the fruit itself. Therefore, mango fruits are real. That's what thesis does. Let's take another example. The more simple one. Mango trees exist. On the gas and the background, in our backyard, there is a mango tree. And the justification, if a mango tree is physically there, you can go and touch it. Then mango trees are real. I have only said mango trees are real. Then how do I link it back to the main argument? From the existence of mango trees, how am I going to prove the mangoes are real? By saying the existence of the tree confirms the existence of the fruit. If the tree is there, their fruit can be harvested. So there's a difference between the point that you are trying to prove and the actual argument. Thesis is the middleman who is linking the point back to your argument. And now you can, I hope you can get a hold of this concept. And the final point, mangoes are sold in supermarket. Background, you can go to a supermarket and purchase a mango, and you can justify by saying, if mangoes are harvested and sold, they are real. So the selling process is real. It's happening out there in the real world. And you can link back to your main argument by saying, the sale of mangoes proves that these fruits exist. So point first, mangoes are sold in market. You go, you observe, and you can see it is sold. So therefore, by justification, you prove this process happens, and you link back to your main argument by saying, okay, if they are selling mangoes, that means mangoes do exist. That's what thesis does. So do you have any questions up to this point, or anything that you cannot still understand?
I understood, sir.
Okay. So if you have any problem in future also, you can simply ask, okay? So actually, the reason why am I trying to explain this concept is, this is how you're going to answer your essay questions. By essay questions, I mean the appreciations, of course. So now you can get the idea. This is how you should actually answer, because most of the children of your age, young adults actually, they answer the essay question like they are writing the full summary of their poem or short story or whatever, and trying to prove their point. And actually their whole essay sometimes only include one point, because as I said, argument is your essay question. It asks you to prove something, and the points are the things, the claims that you make to prove that argument is whether right or wrong. So I know maybe it's a bit hard for you, but through this small activity you can get a better understanding. After this, we will move on and try this with the poem Eagle. Then you can, at the end of this lesson, you will be able to, I guarantee you will be able to write an appreciation all by yourself. Just okay. Point of this part is to make you think critically. So now you have some kind of understanding about this concept called PBJ and T. Now you are trying to apply it and write a small answer by yourself. This is the scenario. This is another hypothetical imaginary scenario. So there is a sweet vendor who became a successful businessman, just like Jaywell in the vendor of sweets. This is another sweet vendor. He became a successful businessman. But before that, he was extremely poor with no one to support him, no one to pay for his education, no nothing. He learned cooking from his mom and eventually used his skill to become successful. He opened his own sweet shop and became successful. So after that, after he started and doing well with his business, every single day, a poor 20-year-old. So 20-year-old means he is not a child anymore. He can work. So 20-year-old, he is fully capable of working. He has all his four limbs intact, no physical injuries or nothing. He can work. What he does is, he comes to the shop front every single day and he begs for food and money. On day 1, day 2, and day 3, this street vendor donated him. He gave some food, he gave him some money. But on day 4, customers were starting to go away because there is a beggar. Actually, in English, we don't use the term beggar anymore. We call them homeless people. So because this homeless boy is there, their customers were going away. They didn't like it. And for that reason, the street vendor came out, scolded, and chased the boy away. The boy is fully capable of working, but he continues to beg for a living. He can work, he can go for a job, but he doesn't. He just begs. So now what you have to do is, you don't have to write this down. You can just simply say, why do you think in this scenario, the businessman is right? You are trying to convince me. I don't believe that, I believe that he did the wrong thing. I think he shouldn't have to, he didn't have to chase the boy away. But you are trying to say, no, what businessman did is the right thing. In that case, how are you going to convince me? What are the points that you are going to make me believe that businessman did the right thing in this situation? Simply, this is a simple scenario. You can think and give your opinion. Why do you think he's right? Yeah, go back to the scenario. Any idea? I hope you can hear me. No idea at all? It's easy. Why do you think he did the right thing? By chasing this homeless boy away. Okay. I will tell you the main point. The main reason is, he is running a business. He is not running a charity, of course. He is not giving free things, freebies every single day. This is a business. And why are you starting a business? What's the main reason for you to start a business? To earn money, to gain a good profit. Therefore, your point is that he runs a business, not a charity. And the background, he donated on day 1, 2, and 3. But when the boy started to scare away his customers, then he had to take action. That's what happened. So in background, we don't give any conclusion or give our opinions. Background, we just simply say what happened or give our evidence to prove our point. In justification, what happens? In justification, you are saying that since this is what happened. He donated, and on day 3, until day 3, on day 4, he chased him away because he started to scare off his customers. And the purpose of a business is to gain money, gain a good income, a good profit. Therefore, giving someone something for free, charity, is optional. And it's something that you can do or either not do. You are the one who decides. So, he runs a business, not a charity. Therefore, the businessman is right. That's it. Own shop. He is the one who decides whether to give it for free or not. And for that reason, he is right. And your thesis will be connecting your point to your argument again. The businessman is right for chasing the boy away. Again, so since maybe you feel shy or something, I don't know. we will quickly go through another point. The boy is fully capable of working. Now, what are you trying to prove? The businessman is right. And your point is the boy is fully capable of working. And the background in the scenario, it says the boy is physically capable of working. He has no injuries or nothing. And your justification, how you are going to prove your argument, is by saying if a capable person chooses to beg without trying to earn, supporting him only encourages him to do what? To beg more. Basically makes him a parasite, someone dependent who depends on others. And now your point is he is fully capable of working, so the businessman don't have to donate him anything. And this is supporting a capable person who refuses to work is not kindness, it's harm. Therefore, the businessman is right. We are trying to prove the businessman is right, and your point is the boy is capable of working, but he decides not to find a job and beg for a living. Therefore, the businessman is right for chasing him away. It's up to him to find a job and build his own life. And we will quickly go through the final point. The businessman has built his career through his own effort. He was a poor person at some point, and of course, he had no access to education or anyone to support. But what happened? He became successful without anyone else's help. Therefore, the boy is in the same situation. He should be able to do so too. That is your third argument. The businessman himself fought through his difficulties, his hardships, and the boy should be able to do so. And how do we link it back to the main argument? By saying his own life is a proof that waiting for help leads nowhere. When you are capable, therefore, you have to take action. And actually, I was trying to do this whole presentation and give some more examples. But from what I can see is maybe you are not so interested in this method. But okay, I will skip these parts. I will send you the presentation. You can go through it and answer the rest of the questions. Second one is, why do you think the boy is poor boy does not deserve to be treated that way? The next one is, why the vendor is rich? The last one is, why the poor boy is poor? Because he's not working. So you can, if you have some free time during your leisure time, you can simply ask this question and try to break your idea into these 4 categories. So one thing is we have a limited amount of time, and yeah, since it's your first day, and I'm not going to go through it one by one. Okay, so we will proceed with the lesson. I hope that's for the better. It refreshes your mind, and yeah, you are here for that. Okay, so now you have a small understanding about this method as of now. Okay, so in your question paper, you get 15 marks for every single essay question. And have your teacher ever told you how that 15 marks were allocated? කොහොමද මේ marks ඔයාට දෙන්නේ කියලා teacher explain කරලා තියෙනවා. Has she ever even mentioned such a thing? Yes or no? Can you hear me? I heard a scream actually. I hope you said yeah, but okay. So I will explain it. Yeah, you have to really do something with your mic because I cannot hear you at all. Okay, so 15 marks are allocated into 3 categories: content, language, and organization. So this is the practical implementation of the PBJ and T method that we discussed before. To get the full mark, you have to be precise with your points. So the points that you write the things that you are talking about, all those things fall under the content category. And see, you only get 4 marks for this out of 50. Thereafter, organization. Organization means you have to, of course, include a small introduction, give a small background information, and state your point in body paragraphs. At the end, you have to write a conclusion. We will be doing these things today, don't worry. So for that, you get 4 marks. Now, out of 15, 8 marks are given. 7 marks are given to language. Basically, your grammar, vocabulary. Vocabulary means we don't use words like anymore. We don't use the term like. Instead, you can say something like interesting. You don't say sadness. You can say sorrow. So you have to improve your vocabulary. So for your grammar, how advanced your language is and how accurate. Like if you make a lot of grammatical mistakes, then they have to deduct the point out. Don't worry, it don't always happen. But most amount of marks are given to language. So you have to be careful about your language. It's not just grammar, it's an overall idea about your language usage, the words that you use, and your grammatical accuracy. So this part is not necessary. This is actually what are we going to discuss. There are some eras and all. You can read this by your own. I will send you this presentation. Okay. So we will quickly shift things up. We will move on with today's lesson. The eagle. I made a mistake there. So as I said, I hope you have your anthology with you right now. If not, you can quickly run and bring it and maybe take a pencil or a pen and take some notes down while I'm explaining this. Okay? So, the eagle. Where is it? Yeah. As I said, you have to, at the end of this lesson, write a small summary. You don't have to write this whole analysis or critical analysis or whatever. You just have to get a brief understanding of what I am trying to explain, and you have to write your own idea about this piece of work. Okay. So this is, I hope you can see this. This is Alfred Lord Tennyson, the author of Eagle. The eagle, actually, his name is something special. See, if you have any doubt or if you have to ask anything, you can simply turn on the mic and speak, okay? Or you can type it either in chat as well. I will look into it. So, Alfred Lord Tennyson, his real name is Alfred Tennyson. This Lord Pass is a title, something like Great Alexander. His name is Alexander, but we call him Great because of his greatness. He's an emperor, undefeated hero, you would say. Actually, he got defeated at some point, but yeah, for his greatness, we call him Great. So Lord is another title like that given by Queen Victoria. I think that was her, to Alfred Tennyson. So that comes between his name, but it's not it's not a real part of his name. It's a title. But when you write his name, it just write Alfred Lord Tennyson to show the respect. But have an idea in the back of your head, this is what his actual name, full name. Yeah. So eagle is this bird. I don't know how to explain eagle, but yeah, this is the eagle, and this is the waving sea. You will see the importance of this in a moment. And these are, we call them talons. In English, we call them talons. Talons. Talons means or you could say claws of a bird. Usually we say talons, but in this poem, they use different poet uses a different word choice to talk about these talons. We'll see. So of course, I have given a small glossary as well. So we will see. Let me zoom it a little bit. And right. Okay. So the first line, very first line, it says, he clasped the crack with crooked hands. And at the very beginning, I said something. What? I said literature is not what is said, it is what's not said. If you look at this from the surface level, just look at it, you will understand, okay, clasps. In glossary, I have given. Clasp means grip tightly. You hold something tightly like this. Crack means steep rocky cliff. So in like a mountain, there are some rocky parts, stuff like that. Some boulders and things. Those are cracked. Basically, eagle is holding on to those stones and things, those rocky cliff. That's what he's trying to say on a surface level. With crooked hands, that's very important. So, crooked, I have given you the meaning. You can simply use a pencil and mark them down. Crooked means eagle's talons. These ones, see, they are not straight. See, they are circular, and we call this shape basically crooked. But actually, the poets don't always use such words to explain something on a surface level. In here, he deliberately uses this word called crooked to show two main things. The first thing is actually to describe the curvature, the circular shape of his talons, of eagle's talons. You can see from the image. But the other thing is the term crooked. It also has this idea about something sinister. If we say something is crooked, it's not a really nice thing. It's something sinister. It's something evil. That evilness is behind that word. Also, you can say age, because when people are aging, their hands get crooked. See, not every single one. Some grandmas and grandpas, their hands are crooked like this. They cannot lift their fingers up. So things like that happen. So to show aging, to show the evilness, that's why he uses the term crooked. Also, there is this small myth. I don't know whether it's true or not. It says that sometimes when the eagles are getting older, they fly into these mountains and what you call rub their beak, their talons and those things against the rocks. So it breaks them down and they pull out their feathers and all. And basically now they are young again. They are like the snake is shedding skin. They are rejuvenating themselves, refreshing themselves, something like that. But some people say this is not true. I don't know. Just giving an idea. So the first line, it shows it when you read this, it creates an image in your mind, right? An eagle perching on a rock somewhere in the mountain, holding onto a rock very tightly. So that is called visual imagery. Imagery is a technique in literature. I hope as of now you are aware of these things. Imagery means imagery has 5 main categories. There are, for you, I think all those things are not important. Mainly there are like visual imagery, there are some auditory imagery, gustatory, tactile. There are 5 things. So not all those things are important for you. For as of now, the most important thing is to get an understanding of visual imagery. So when you read these lines, you get an idea. The image is created in your mind. That is called visual imagery. And that's a literary technique. And sometimes we call these literary techniques literary devices. I hope you are familiar with these terms. So we call these things literary devices. Basically, a device is a tool that you use to do something. If you take your phone, you call this a mobile device. And I said device is used to achieve something, to do something. You use mobile for communication. Just like that, literary devices are used. They are like a tool. They are used to give more depth or to make your text more vibrant, to give more emotions through your text, whether it be a poem, short story, whatever. So in the first verse line itself, oh yeah, so these things are called stanzas, okay? First three lines. So each line is called a verse line, VERSELINE, verse line. So in the first stanza, first verse line, he says, eagle is clasping into this rock with his crooked hands. Moving on to the second verse line, it says, close to the sun in lonely lands. So simple idea, but it has something a little, yeah, let's talk about it. Close to the sun. So sun, if you are talking about sun, what kind of an image is created in your mind? If you say his personality is like the shining sun, එයාගේ personality එක දිලිසෙන ඉර වගේ. What kind of an image is created in your mind? If you want to, can turn on the mic and speak. I will come. Yeah. Okay. I could only hear myself. That's fine. So if you say someone is like the bright shining sun, that shows how mighty they are, how powerful. Because sun is the center of our solar system, right? It energizes every single thing, plants, and it gives us light and everything. So it's the center of everything. We depend on its existence. Therefore, sun is something powerful. So the poet uses the term sun to show what? The eagle is close to the sun. So it is flying way high up above the sky. And it seems very close to the sun. So near the heavens almost. To show how powerful the eagle is. Because he is close to something really powerful. Therefore, to reach there, eagle must be a powerful creature too. To reach that kind of height. Thereafter, in lonely lands, some people argue lonely land means that near sky itself, because no other creature lives in the sky except some other birds, so the sky is lonely. But actually, lonely lands means the whole territory of the eagle. Usually the eagles, they live in these rocky areas, mountains, and usually normal creatures like pigs, chickens, dogs, and all, they don't live there. Only eagles and such powerful creatures are living in such harsh environments. So the lands are, of course, lonely because no other animal is living there. And that's the symbol of powerfulness. That's a symbol of power. Why? Because he is living in such a harsh environment. Nobody is, no one else is living there. We call it like unrivaled. You don't have any rivals. You don't have any enemies to go against you. You are the only king in your territory. Something like that. Since no one else can reach where he is superior than everything else. Then the third verse line. Ringed with the azure world, he stands. So ringed means like a ring surrounding him. Ring means you are surrounded by. I have given in the glossary as well. Surrounded. Alone above everything. Surrounded, that's the basic meaning. So ring means the sky forms a ring around him. The eagle is flying high up above the sky. When you look at him, the eagle is surrounded by this azure means light blue color. This blue shining sky is surrounding him. He is surrounded by this beautiful sky. Ringed with the azure world, he stands. So see, in here, the poet says azure world. He doesn't directly say he is ringed, surrounded by the sky itself. So the word choice, there's a reason a poet uses certain words to emphasize something. In here, azure world is a symbol used by the poet Alfred Lord Tennyson to show what? To symbolize the sky. Doesn't directly say sky, It says the blue color, beautiful world. So the eagle's world is what? Sky, because it flies way high above the sky. Therefore, the sky is represented as azure world. This is a technique called symbolism, and azure world stands for sky. You can take small notes here and there. I will send you once you write and send me the something. Okay. The third verse, like the wrinkled sea beneath him crawls. So actually, when you say wrinkled sea beneath him, so in literature, actually, I said word choice matter. So beneath doesn't mean exactly right below. If I say under, that means exactly right below. If I say my other hand, left hand is under my arm, under my right arm, that means it is exactly under. But if I say beneath, it means not just directly under, it's the whole area under you. It could be like what? Yeah, if the eagle is flying way high up above the sky, what's beneath him is the whole ground underneath him. The whole ground, it's not just one point under him. So the whole sea is beneath him. The earth itself is beneath him. So that's the meaning of beneath. The wrinkled sea. Wrinkled කියනවා අපි රැලි වැටෙනවා. You know, you may have your granny or grandpa with you, and if you look at their skin, it's like wrinkled. You say skin is like that. So you can see the image, right? See, the sea is wrinkled. It is the waving sea, of course. He actually compares the sea waves to wrinkles. And he says something special. See, wrinkles sea beneath him crawls. Crawls means badagan. You know, infants, those small children, they walk with their 4 legs, right? They cannot stand and walk with 2 legs. They crawl. So, beneath him crawls. And that suggests you something. If you go on a helicopter or go on an aeroplane or something and look at the sea from really, really high above the sky and look underneath, then you will see the waves, sea waves are moving really slowly to the shore. Really slowly. Why? Because you are watching this from a really, really far away, and that's how you see things. And from eagle's perspective, because eagle is now flying really high above the sky, and when he looks down, the sea waves are going slowly. They seem to be moving really slowly. And he used the word crawl. And as I said, the babies are the ones who are crawling. So the poet is trying to say, compared to the eagle, vast sea. Sea is not something small, right? It's not like a pond or a lake. It's massive. It's vast. It's everywhere. The vast sea, compared to the eagle, is crawling like a baby. Basically, he is trying to say that eagle is not just some normal random creature. It's a really powerful animal. Even the vast sea cannot be compared to how powerful eagle is. That's basically he's trying to say. Thereafter, that's the first stanza. Second stanza, we have completed the 3 lines. Second stanza, he says, he watches, actually, I think I have made a mistake. Second stanza, second verse line. We are in the second stanza. Second verse line, he says, he watches from his mountain walls. He watches from his mountain walls. So watches means he's looking at something. From his mountain walls. If we are talking about walls, what kind of an idea that you get? A house has walls, right? ගෙදරක තමයි බිත්ති තියෙන්නේ. The house has walls. So the author, the poet is trying to say mountains are his walls. Walls of what? Walls of his house. Walls of his fortress. Usually the eagles, they build their nest high above the mountains, maybe on a rock or some whatever. It is really high in a high place. So his nest is surrounded by all these mountains. So they are like, it's like a fortress, and the mountains are the walls of his fortress. He watches from his mountain walls. So see how he's using nature, elements of nature, to show how powerful eagle is. And the final one, he says in the final verse line, and like a thunderbolt, he falls. Like a thunderbolt, he falls. And even while reading this, you get the idea. A beautiful, a powerful eagle is flying way high above in the sky. Then he sees something, a small lump of white wool moving on the ground. And suddenly he goes like this and immediately dives down. Dives mean not like flying. You go like this and dive like this. I can't get a suitable form of word to explain dive. But yeah, in swimming you dive. Basically that. So yeah, like a thunderbolt, he falls. So thunderbolt means lightning, and lightning is known to be really powerful and really fast. So eagle is fast like that, and he falls. And as I said, literature is not what is said; it is what's not said. And the reason for the eagle to suddenly drop down and go towards the earth is why? Because he saw something, maybe a small animal, a sheep, maybe. That is his prey. Prey means basically his food is going to eat that animal. He saw that animal, so he dives down towards the earth, and he is fast like a thunderbolt, lightning fast. And there's another technique. I think you are pretty new to this. This is not expected from O-level students, but until this moment, see, and like a thunderbolt, he falls. Until this moment, all these 5 lines, both of these two stanzas, they explain the nature, explain how the eagle's actions and all. It doesn't like created much of a difference. It seems what uh, all those lines seem similar. It explains things, nothing much. But at the last verse lines, the eagle takes actions, and you can feel it. The things are shifting from watches his mountain walls, and suddenly he dives towards the earth like a thunderbolt he was. So this shift actually, this is another literary technique. You can write this down. This is called the volta. VOLTA. Volta means like a turn, a shift in tone or action within a poem, especially. Yeah, in prose and all. In a poem, you suddenly shift things from being basic to climax. So suddenly, eagle was there watching and all. We were just admiring him, and suddenly he jumps down. That is volta. So the volta happens after, line 5 at the start of line 6. You can put a mark there and write that as well. So I'm repeating myself. Volta is not expected literary devices, expected literary device from at your level, but for your understanding, it's good to keep in mind. And yeah, that's about it. That's about the poem Eagle. Now, so when we're doing a poem, we discuss the basic idea, the surface level idea. As for me, I have explained some my perspective of what I think about eagle, my opinion and all. And we have written down the glossary, the hard words for you. And we have to discuss some other thing as well. That is about the author. I did not go into explaining about the author because actually I wanted to, my point is to practice you, like to train you to answer essay questions. If I give this at the very beginning, and you will write down every single thing, and that is not what you should do actually. That's because we are trying to answer an exam paper. For that, actually, you need 1 or 2 points from the whole point list I have given. So about the author, this is not really important. Just we have to only have to remember 1 or 2 things from here. Of course, you can write them down. I will tell them. Name Alfred Lord Tennyson. See, I have used the comma here to show the title. But in your examination paper, don't use it, okay? In your examination paper, write it without the comma, because I had used the comma to show Lord is the title, not the part of his name. But in your paper, don't do that, because we don't know how the examiners will take it. And he lived in the Victorian era. In Sinhala literature, we have these eras. Eras mean Yugaya. We had Polonnaru Yuga, Anuradhapura Yuga, and all. So in literature, especially English literature, we have such eras as well. Basically, time durations, time periods. Victorian era means the reign where Queen Victoria was ruling the United Kingdom. So he lived from 1809 to 1892, and there's another thing. This is not important. He was the longest serving poet laureate in British history. That is like another title that is given to you. Not important. Known for his mastery of sound and rhythm. Something about his writing style. That is also not important. Other famous work, if you can remember one thing from this, that is enough. The Charge of the Light Brigade. It's a poem in memoriam. It's a long elegy. Elegy means a sort of poem that we write to mourn a death, to express our sorrow towards a dead person. And Ulysses, it's a monologue. I think it's from a drama. I don't remember exactly. Monologue means a person expressing his ideas in a drama or in a such scenario by himself, talking everything by himself. Thereafter, The Lady of Shalott. It's a narrative poem. Narrative poem means explaining a story, something like that. And there are some categories of the poems as well. So the Eagle falls under. It's more likely an epic actually. Epic means the poems that were written about heroes, kings, like admiring them and all. So the Eagle actually admires and admires the eagle. Therefore, it falls under epic, I think. I'm not sure. I will check and tell you if you want. But from context, it should be falling under the category of epics. Yeah. So as I said about the author, just remember his name without the comma, of course. And if you want, you can take a note of this Victorian era and anything else. One more point, like another work of his, like Ulysses. Ulysses, if you remember that, is enough. But actually, I don't think they will. Eagle has not ever appeared as an essay question in your examination paper. But since this is your first poem in your anthology and the most easiest one in the whole book, that's what I did. Why I did this. So there is this line by line analysis. Of course, I will give you the PDF once you send me your summary in your own words. The things I said. Now you have a good understanding about the context and the author of the poem. But that is not, we cannot stop there. That is not all about the poem. There are some other things that you have to be aware as well. Literary devices. So while explaining the poem, I have explained some too, but there are some new ones here as well. So, personification. I have given the, what you call it, a small description about personification as well. If you have any doubts, please feel free to turn on your mic and speak. I would always be happy to help you. And otherwise, you can simply type in chat or as you wish. Okay. I hope what I'm explaining is clear. And if you don't understand anything, please stop me and ask any question that you have doubts about. Okay. So literary devices. Personification, the main thing, the easiest one. Personification basically means, as it said in this PDF, giving human qualities or actions to something non-human. As of now, you are aware about this. So, crooked hands, it's debatable, but you can take it as personification. But at your level, it is described as personification. That's why I put it in here. But actually, it's not personification. You will understand in a moment why did I say so. Thereafter, wrinkled sea beneath him crawls. So as I said, crawling is an action done by infants. So it's like a more human-like action. So if the sea is crawling, that means he is comparing the waves of the sea to a crawling baby. So giving the sea a human-like action. That is personification. Crooked hands, in some way, saying that eagle has hands. So that is a sort of personification. But as I said, at your level, it is mentioned as personification, but it's actually no. So except for an examination, you can write it as an example to mention where personification is, but it's not. Thereafter, you can, I hope you can see this term, anthropomorphism. Anthropomorphism. This is a technique that I think your teacher may have told you, I don't know. But this is like extended personification. Basically, as I said, personification means giving human actions or qualities to something non-human or an object. If I say the wind is whispering, when the wind is breezing across my face, it was like wind is whispering. Or the lily flowers are nodding their heads. Basically, they are dancing with the wind or nodding their heads. That is like giving human qualities, personification. If the butterfly could talk in the Nightingale and the Rose, Nightingale could talk. If he can talk, that is like giving human qualities to an animal. That is personification. But instead of giving something non-human these qualities or actions, we actually give them human form or body parts, not just behavior. Actual human form or body parts, that is called anthropomorphism. As an example, as I said, for personification, you can say flowers are nodding their head, the wind is whispering and all. The best example that I know for anthropomorphism is this small story that you have learned in your kindergarten, I think. Have you ever heard of this story called The Cap Seller? Where a cap seller is going around with a bucket full of red caps or something. And he was falling asleep under a tree, and the monkeys stole the caps and they were wearing it and all. Yeah, in that story, anthropomorphism is there. And the reason I'm saying that so is monkeys wore the caps. So who can wear clothes? Only humans can wear clothes, right? You don't see dogs wearing clothes. Not in social media, I think. Bears wearing clothes. No. Humans wear clothes. Then what else did they do? They threw the caps at the man. So that's another human action. Taking the cap off and throwing it at the man. So all these two things, wearing the caps by themselves, all these things are considered as real human behavior. Therefore, anthropomorphism is there. In this poem as well, the term crooked hands, if it says crooked clothes, then that's fine. But Alfred Lord Tennyson is directly saying that eagle has crooked hands. And humans are the ones in the animal kingdom who has hands. Others have paws, talons, and all. So if we are saying eagle has hands, then eagle is given an actual human hands, a real set of human body parts. And that is called anthropomorphism. That's another literary technique. So you can take this under personification, but the real literary device is actually anthropomorphism. Thereafter, simile, you know it. it is there like a thunderbolt he falls. Basically comparing two things using like or as. It's easy. I hope you are taking notes. I'm going really slow. Thereafter, visual imagery is there. I explained a descriptive language that creates a picture in reader's mind. So basically, while we are reading about the eagle, like a thunderbolt he falls, then the image of an eagle diving down towards the earth appears in our mind. So that is visual imagery. Wrinkled sea, that image appears in your mind. So that is visual imagery. Sorry, it is there. Thereafter, some sound devices. Sound devices are like to enhance the rhythm, to enhance the tone of the poem, mostly poems. Alfred Lord Tennyson, he uses alliteration. You are familiar with this, I know. Repetition of the same consonant sound. In English language, we have we have 5 vowels and 21 consonant letters. But we are not talking about the sound letters. We are talking about the sounds. The reason why I'm saying sound is, and the. We use for consonant sounds, like a car. We use N for vowel sounds, not the letter. Apple is called an apple. But if I were to say SUV, it's a sort of a car, right? SUV, it's not a SUV, it's an SUV. The reason is it's pronounced as a is. So a is a vowel sound, therefore it is called an SUV. Same thing. So now you can get an understanding. Alliteration means the repetition of same consonant sound, not the vowel sound. A, E, not those sounds, the consonant sounds at the start of nearby words. Not like a spread across multiple verse lines, nearby words. See, he clasps the crag with crooked hands. So, k, sound is there. See, sound means that. K, clasp, crag, crook. So, they are close by words. That is there, and it is called alliteration. So, the other one, if the consonant sounds are in present in close words, that is called alliteration. The other thing, repetition of vowel sounds within nearby words. If there are vowel sounds repeating in such a manner, it is called assonance. So, if you take for an instance, we could say, close to the sun in lonely lands. So, in there, low. So, O sound is there, and it's a vowel sound. So, of course, it falls under category assonance. Those are sound devices. You can take note them down as well. Thereafter, symbolism. I'm going really slow. Hope you can. Don't just write every single thing on the screen. Okay, just write the basic idea and summarize what I'm saying in a way you can understand. Even after some time, whenever you turn the page and look at your note, you should be able to understand what you wrote. That's the whole point. Thereafter, symbolism. Symbolism I explained, using an object or image to represent a deeper idea. So the eagle itself, the eagle symbolizes the power of like a force of nature. How eagle is a symbol of power in here. Just like the, what you call it, the white pigeon, no, dove. Dove means the white pigeon, you call it dove. So dove is the symbol of peace. And red rose, they are the symbol of love. Just like that, the eagle in here symbolizes power. And the mountains, I said, they symbolize his territory, his area, his kingdom, his home. His territory is represented by the mountains. And the sun, at the very beginning, I said, it symbolizes glory, might, something heavenly or godly, something out of this world. It's very powerful. Thereafter, as your world, I said, symbolizes the sky. He doesn't directly say the sky. He said light blue color world that symbolizes the sky. So that is where symbolism is present in this poem. So yeah, since it's your first day, I'm not asking really hard questions from you, but in future, like I hope you could like contribute more by telling your idea, your opinion. But since your first day, I'm not going to force it. Okay. And finally, the last technique I have explained, volta, a structured turn. So basically, shift in tone or action within a poem. Like same thing happens until line 5. Same thing happens. We admire the eagle, and suddenly he takes he jumps into action by diving down. So that is called volta. It happens at the start of line 6, and like a thunderbolt, he falls. Everything from line 1 to 5, it's calm and still, but from line 6 onwards, it changes. So volta, that happens at the very beginning of verse line 6. Sorry. So that's about literary devices. But before proceeding further with the lesson, and actually we only have to discuss themes and morals and how to answer a question logically. That's all we have to do. That is what we have to do for today's lesson. Before going further, tell me, have you understood every single thing I said unto this point? Or you have any doubts? You have to clear anything? You have to ask anything? Do you have any issues with what I have said so far?
No doubt, sir.
Okay. So I'm happy to hear that. Okay. Sorry. So there are something, because the way I teach, usually all literature teachers, they just give you a whole paragraph about the author, and then they explain the poem, the surface level idea of the poem. Then they move on to talk about literary devices, themes, and morals. I'm doing things a different way because I'm trying to achieve the end goal of answering an essay question. That's why, as I said, I did the poem first and talked about the author. Otherwise, you would be taking down notes about the poet and making that whole paragraph. That's not needed. So you will understand in a moment when we are answering the essay question, what is important when taking down notes and what is not important. So themes are, as said in this note as well, the big idea the poem is about, something that repeats or stands out through the whole poem. Simply put, what the poem is about. What is this poem talking about? If you are struggling to find or understand what the theme is, you can think like, okay, the eagle. It talks about the eagle. But what this poem is actually about? What thing is the poet trying to say again and again and again? In this poem, if you really think about it, the poet is trying to say eagle, portray eagle as a really powerful creature. Again and again, close to the sun in lonely lands. Then thereafter he says, what? The wrinkled sea beneath him rolls. He is trying to show this creature as something powerful again and again. Therefore, the theme is about power and dominance. So, in Sri Lankan context, you pronounce this as power, but actually it should be pronounced as power. That's why I'm saying that. You pronounce OUR as our, whereas it should be pronounced as A. So, if there are some unfamiliar things or unfamiliar words, hence the way I pronounce such things, if you have any doubts, feel free to ask. Okay. So power and dominance is the major theme, major idea that the poem is talking about. And there's another thing, beauty of nature, the azure world, the blue color sky, wrinkled sea, waving sea, eagerly symbolized, portrayed as a really powerful creature. So the beauty of nature is, of course, there. And of course, the destructive nature, that side, that is also there. We will talk about that part as well. And isolation and solitude, basically the same thing. Isolation means, simply put, living alone. So the eagle is so powerful, so it lives alone. So that idea is there. Living alone, living in solitude, same thing. Same thing explained in two different words. Living in solitude, living alone. Because if you are too powerful, you cannot live a normal life. Those mafia bosses and especially the judges, courtroom judges, they cannot just go to parties and funerals and all, because they are ordered, they are requested to live by themselves, only with their family members, to avoid any public appearances. So if you become so powerful, you become isolated. So the team isolation and solitude is there also. And fourth one, sudden fierce action and destruction, that is there in the last verse. Like suddenly the eagle charges down, dives down. To do what? To catch a prey. So destruction, that piece also there. Those are minor themes. And finally, the main one, after power and dominance, the main theme, the second major theme is nature's law, that the strong rules over the weak. That is there. As I said, literature is not about what is said, it is not about what is not said. From the last verse line, he says, the eagle is diving down. It doesn't say why, but we know to catch a prey, catch an animal. So, what does that suggest? In nature, we call this Kalanithian, law of the forest. The powerful creature, the powerful animal like lion, they eat the weaker one. They eat the weak animal. So that is called nature's law actually. The strong rule over the weak. The strong, he dominates that entire ecosystem. That is there too. There's another hidden theme. So don't worry, they won't ask you to explain every single theme of this or nothing else. In contest questions, they may ask what's the theme behind this poem. There only you can use one of these themes and explain. Contest questions, they are sometimes asking, explain literary devices and what is the theme of this poem. For there, you can use power and dominance, nature's law. If they give only if they give the final line, you can use the nature's law. Okay, for other ones, don't. And that's another important thing, because whenever you are answering a contest question, stick to what is given to you. Don't use the whole poem in your memory to answer that. Stick to what is given in the question paper and write based on that. So if they ask what are the themes of the eagle by giving the first stanza, you must never write nature's law, because that theme only appears in second stanza, last verse line. If they give that, then you can write. Otherwise, you are okay. As I said, stick to what was given to you. Stick to what is given to you in the question page. So that's about themes. And finally, the last part of the poem, we have to discuss morals. All of us have a moral compass. Yeah, I think you are writing still, but yeah, I'll keep it like this and explain. So while doing that, you can write these 5 and write these 3 things. So you don't have to write all these things, okay? No need. I'm explaining, you just try to control. No, control is try to save this in your memory. So morals are like the lessons the poem teaches about life. Yeah, simply put, what you can learn, what you can get from this poem that can eventually enhance your own life. Basically, like personal reflection. So what did you learn from this poem? What is the message that the poet is trying to convey, trying to give to the reader? So don't mix them up. Themes and morals are 2 different things. Themes are like the main topics, the main issues, the main ideas that the poem discusses, poem or whatever it is, discusses about. Morals are the things that you can take to improve yourself. See, the strong rule over the weak, that is there. The nature's law, that is there. The strong rule over the weak. So the nature's law, that is there for you to understand. It happens everywhere. If there is a politician who caused an accident. Of course, he is released the next day. That was a normal civilian like you and me. Then we are arrested and sentenced for life. So the strong rule over the weak, that is there. The staying calm before acting makes you powerful. You see, eagle was at some point watching over his mountain walls. So he was actually like looking at this prey. He was planning. Okay, he was waiting for the perfect moment for the prey to be vulnerable. Maybe let's say if there is a mother, maybe a cow, and a what do you call calf? Calf means the small cow, right? So a cow and a calf. And you are waiting. You are the eagle. You are waiting for the perfect moment. So when the mother has moved away a little bit at least, you can take the child and take it as a prey. You can catch it. So you are observing from far away and waiting for the perfect moment. So staying calm before acting makes you more powerful. If you just rush in and try to take your prey, then the cow will actually attack you and maybe kill you. Then the eagle will die. But no, the eagle is wise enough to know to wait, be patient till the perfect moment appears. So staying calm before acting makes you more powerful. That's another moral lesson you can take from this. And the final one, power can be harsh and destructive, not always gentle. So from this poem, we learned eagle is a really powerful creature. But it's not totally sunshine and rainbows. It can be destructive. It's not always gentle. See, like a thunderbolt, he falls and he causes destruction. He's catching an animal as his prey. So it's a bad thing, but it is how it is. So power can be harsh and destructive. I'm not going to explain the political side of it, but yeah, that is about the poem Eagle. And it took some time. Yeah, we have another half an hour. Within that time frame, we are going to answer one of these questions according to the concept I told you, EBJ and T. And after we answer this question, you will be able to answer the second one by yourself. I guarantee that. And yeah, so before proceeding with the question, I have to say, of course, you have to first take a piece of paper or your book, if you have one as of now, and write this question down and get ready. Because as I'm explaining, you have to write it with me. And it's better if you have like a highlighter or two pens, like black and blue, because as I said, we are writing according to a certain structure. So if you are writing the point in black pen, then you should write the background in a blue pen. Then the justification again in a black pen, and thesis again in a blue pen. Because when you write it that way, there only you will be able to understand, okay, what am I writing? And that will eventually enhance your writing skills. Okay. So before proceeding with the essay question, do you need a break, like 5 minutes to maybe drink some water and relax yourself? Or shall we move on? Or do you have any other questions or doubts that you have to clear? Any doubts? Do you need a break? Maybe 5 minutes or so?
No doubt, sir.
Okay. Are you bored? You need a break? Or shall I simply start with the essay question? That's your idea.
You continue.
Okay. So let me open a Word document. Don't worry, I will send you the presentation and I'm repeating myself. I will only send this PDF once you have sent me the summary written by your own words. And I will teach you how to write it as well. Don't worry. It's not something really rather difficult. Give me 1 second. Don't worry. Question is there. Question is in the Word document as well. Don't worry. But I will give you time to write it. Okay. So the whole point of that introductory part where I have explained TBJ and T model is for this, to prepare you to answer an essay question by yourself. At the end, if you can remember, I hope so, I have given you some templates. Actually, this is the most easiest way to write an introduction, write a body paragraph, write a conclusion. So I'm saying this again. In this part, this is very crucial. If you have any question, feel free to turn on your mic and speak, and I will explain it further. I will do my best, okay? Because this is where everything depends. Okay. Introduction. Now, it's better if I could highlight these things and all, but I didn't have much time to prepare. Okay. So whenever you are taking an introduction, let's say to whatever the essay question you are writing in literature, okay? In normal essay questions, you cannot do this, but in literature, when you are trying to get an introduction to the essay question that you are answering, you can do this. Give me 1 second. Yeah. So as you can see, we can. So I can zoom it. No. Here. Yeah. Now you can see clear. Writer's name. So these are the brackets. These things in the brackets that you can, replace with your own words. While I'm explaining this, you can write this template down. This one, not the example. This one, writer's name, poet, author. Or I will send you a screenshot later as well. But yeah, it's better if you can write this down now while I'm explaining. Okay. Sorry. So first thing, writer's name. So you begin the whole introductory paragraph with first mentioning the writer's name. So in this case, we will say Alfred Lord Tennyson was a great what? Either he's a poet, an author. Author means the general name for a person who is doing the literary work. It's a general name. You can say an author for the poet, a novelist, or whatever. Playwright. Playwright is written with a W, okay? Playwright means someone who writes drama scripts. Or you can say script writer. Playwright, both are the same thing. Playwright is someone who writes drama script. So first, write the author's name. Was a great, in this case, poet. From the era or country, from England. I think, Alfred Lord Tennyson is an Englishman. Englishman means he's from England. Or you could say, if you can remember, I said when I was explaining about the author, I said only two things to remember. His era, I said remember Victorian era, and one of his books, Ulysses. So only those things are needed here. So Alfred Lord Tennyson was a great, as of now, he is a poet from the Victorian era. That's our first sentence. Then he or she, in this case, this is a he. He wrote many, whether it be stories, poems, or plays. Plays means another term for dramas. So Alfred Lord Tennyson, he wrote poems. So he wrote many poems, including, then you can include that piece of work, Ulysses, including Ulysses. Then you can simply put, which is considered one of his, not her, his best works or best creations. Finally, among his best creations, title means the title of the poem. In here, the eagle. Among his best creations, the eagle is considered, you can say, is a masterpiece, so considered as a masterpiece because it can link to the main argument. So to give you a clear understanding, just look at this example first. Okay, so our question is, let's say something like to prove that Nightingale and the Rose portrays the contrast between the true love and materialism. Just Just as an example, okay? Nothing serious. This is our question. In your question paper, the question is explain how Oscar Wilde portrays the contrast between true love and materialism. Now, I know you don't know the short story, just to give you an idea. That's the question. And we begin with this thing, our template. Oscar Wilde, that's his name, was a great playwright. Not playwright, and a great author or short story writer. He's not a playwright. I made a mistake here. No. Maybe he's, I can't recall everything. Playwright, poet, and short story writer. So he's an all-rounder. Maybe he had written some plays. I can't remember everything. From the Victorian era. See, I have mentioned basic things. He's a poet, he's a short story writer, and a playwright. From what era? Victorian era. He wrote many stories and plays. His stories and plays. If he did two things, then mention them all. Totally fine. You can simply say he wrote many short stories. That's totally fine. Including another piece of work that people know about. The Picture of Dorian Gray. I think that's another short story or novel. I can't recall it. But yeah, another piece of work done by him, including The Picture of It. He wrote many short stories, including The Picture of Dorian Gray. Thereafter, among his best creations, then comes our title. What are we trying to answer this question from? From The Nightingale and the Rose. Among his best creations, The Nightingale and the Rose is a masterpiece because here the main argument. Now, what is our question? Our question is to define how Oscar Wilde portrays the contrast between true love and materialism. Now, what I have done is I have basically extracted that argument and directly put it at the end of the introduction. So this is our argument. This is basically our thesis. Thesis means the main argument, the core idea of whatever you are writing. So this is your thesis. I'm not giving a very detailed explanation about it. This is a basic idea. Thesis is like the core idea, core argument of whatever the thing that you are trying to write about. So through this essay question, you are trying to prove that through the short story, it portrays the contrast between true love and materialism. That is what's in the question they are asking to do, and you are putting it at the end of this introduction. And why do we do that? It's because if we put it this way, thesis must be in the introduction. If we put it at the very end of the introduction, therefore, if your examiner, he's in a hurry, mostly they are marking like 100, 200 papers a day. So they are not going to go through every single line, every single word that you have written. When we put it at the very end of the introduction, then he notices, okay, this child has included the thesis in his introduction, and that is clearly there. So he tends to give some more marks. That's the only reason that I am putting it here. Otherwise, you can include this in the somewhere in the introduction as well. And in advanced literature, we write something called thesis paragraph. Basically, it explains this thesis further, portrays the contrast between true love and materialism. By after that, we write our main points, main claims that we are going to make out. At your level, it is not expected. Maybe if you are doing literature for A levels, there only you can use such technique. But for your level, it is not needed. So you have to write introduction like this. But yeah, as I said, this is the most simple method to to get an understanding to start writing. You can use this template, but of course you are free. You can go do your own research and write this introduction template in your own way, write an introduction by yourself in your own words. That's totally fine. I'm just giving this as a template for you to practice and get that first step towards answering an essay question. So I hope you manage to write it down, and thereafter body paragraphs. That's another template, and you don't have to always follow this template, but you have to follow that structure, P, B, J, and T. I'm just using these words to make that connection between those sentences. So once I go through this explanation, we will understand. But for now, you can simply copy this down, and I will slowly explain. Body paragraph, you only have to copy this down. Okay, we will be writing an essay question, so don't need to write these things. Yeah. So body paragraphs, I said you have to state your point, then provide some context like background, and thereafter justify your point through that context that you have provided. Remember, mango trees exist. That's the point. There is a mango tree in our backyard. That's the background. And your justification is, if the tree is physically there, then the mango trees are proven to exist. And finally, the thesis. So if the trees are there, that means the fruits are harvested. Therefore, mango fruits are real. That's the basic idea of PBJNT. To connect those things in a paragraph, you could say one way, writer in here, Nightingale and Rose, Oscar Wilde, shows thereafter main arguments. Actually, I'm explaining what is below. Shows your main argument. Main argument means this portrays the contrast between. That's the thesis. This is one way, but you can change this according to your liking. Is true. Thereafter, this is basically from here to here. This is actually the point that you are trying to make. From here to here, in the story, poem, or play, now you can get an understanding. Thereafter, background. This is what happens in the story. Mehema Venawa, there is a nightingale, he do this and that and all. This is the background. In the story, this happened. In the background, we don't write any conclusions or opinions. In the background, we just explain what is happening in there as it is. And the justification. This shows how my point is proven in here. Now, when I'm trying to start explaining the example, you will get an understanding. For now, just look at how things are placed, the things that I'm highlighting. And finally, this is the thesis. This proves that the title means the Nightingale and the Rose is indeed about the main argument. Portrays blah blah blah. So I'm going to explain it in this template. Let's move on. Example. Now it's very clear. One way, writer Oscar Wilde shows how, then what is our main argument? It portrays the contrast. Contrast means difference between true love and materialism. So that is there. One way Oscar Wilde shows how materialism defeats love. Means same thing, I wrote it in another way. Is through the actions of the professor's daughter. That is my point. Basically, that is my point that I'm trying to prove. Is through the actions of the professor's daughter that Oscar Wilde is trying to show how materialism defeats true love. Then the background. Then I have given the background, the context. What is happening in the story? In the story, when the student gives her the red rose, now I know you have no idea about this short story. You'll be doing it. But for now, just listen, okay? When the student gives her the red rose, she rejects his blah, 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 appreciating materialistic value or genuine love. You don't have to be so advanced, okay? This is basically what happens in the story itself. Basically, the background. Nothing else. I didn't give my opinion, no something. Thereafter, justification. Now, through this green thing, through this provided context from the story, I'm trying to prove this yellow part. My point is true. This is my point. What? Through the actions of professor's daughter, this materialism defeats love. That theme is proven. And what I'm using is this background. And I'm trying to say, from this background, this provided background, this becomes true. That's what justification does. This shows the sad reality of craving worldly values. You don't have to understand every single thing. So basically, I'm trying to prove my point. And that is justification. So when we are answering the essay question from Eagle, you will get a better understanding. So this is justification. And finally, until this moment, I have proven this point only through the actions of professor's daughter. Now I have to link this point back to this main argument, portrays the contrast between true love and materialism, and I will prove it like this proves that the Nightingale and the Rose is about the contrast between pure love and materialism. Relink back to thesis. Now, don't worry, you'll be answering an essay question from the today's poem. Therefore, you will be getting a better understanding. Just for now, get an idea how things connect. And now you must be wondering, okay, why should I write in this manner? Because if you write the body paragraph like this, see, now the examiner is reading your answer and he first sees the point. Okay, through this body paragraph, this child is trying to prove this point. Professor's daughter, blah, blah, blah. And then he sees the background. Okay, he's supporting his point by providing evidence, and that is there. And thereafter, justification. Through this background, he's proving his point. Okay, so his point is proven. And through this point, until this point, this justification is only your point is proven. And finally, through this thesis relink method, through this part, you are connecting this whole point back to this main argument. So that is there as well. So you get the full marks. That's what happens. And as per essay question, this is one body paragraph, meaning 1 point. You have to provide at least 3 points. Yeah, means 3 body paragraphs, not just explaining the story, okay? 3 points, 3 clear points you have to make. But in some situations, in this case, it's like, it only asking you to prove one thing. But if a situation like this, let's say, compare and contrast the characteristics of the young student and professor's daughter. If basically they are asking you to compare the differences between 2 characters. Therefore, you cannot just provide 3 points. You have to provide 2 points for each character because you are trying to prove 2 things at once. In here, only 1. Therefore, 3 is enough. In such a case, when you have to prove 2 things, then you have to prove give 2 points for each argument. Okay. So in future, you will get scenarios like that, and you will be getting an idea about it. Okay. So finally, so now, as of now, you have taken the introduction. You have wrote 3 or 4 body paragraphs, and you are in a good position. But we can't just end it by simply mentioning 3 points. You have wrote 3 paragraphs, and you have proven your points. But we need something called conclusion. Conclusion means your final thing, your opinion, the whole thing in a summary, basically your opinion. Then in Sinhala we call it nigamana. What kind of decision that what kind of an idea you got at the very end. So you can use this template as well if you want. You can quickly copy this down. It's very simple. You can say in conclusion, or you can use other words like to conclude or in a nutshell. Basic form is in conclusion. Use a word like that. The story, poem, or play that you are writing about. In here, The Nightingale and the Rose clearly portrays the theme of hope. Simply connect the main argument here. Clearly portrays what? The contrast between true love and materialism. Put your thesis there. The above examples prove how effectively author's name, Oscar Wilde, displays main argument in Nightingale and the Rose. And that's it. See, in this instance, in conclusion, the story clearly portrays themes of love and materialism. These things, both things are present in there. The above examples prove how effectively Oscar Wilde, writer's name, displays the thesis here, the contrast between true love and materialism. This is our main argument. This is what are we trying to prove. While displays in the Nightingale and the Rose. That's it. That's your conclusion. That's enough. But if you want, you can add some other things as well, your opinion here. But make sure to do one thing. You should never say, like, we can see. You must never say such things. Or if you don't use terms like I think, don't use those things. or but if you want to express your idea, according to my opinion, that's acceptable to a certain context. But don't write stuff like I think, we see. Instead, you can use terms like uh, the poet. The poet explains, or you can say something like the reader can see. The reader can see, or things like that. Basically, from third person perspective that you are writing. Third person means looking from up above the sky, you say. You are looking not your point of view, not our point of view. You are looking at the story from far away. So, reader is there, the book is there, you are writing about them. Not about you, not about your friends. Not so there is no I, there is no we. So you can use terms like the poet, the reader, terms like that. Because otherwise, hence this is academic writing, this is different. Even in an essay, you should not use the terms like I and we. In future, that will be really useful if you are doing literature for A-levels as well. Okay, so that's about it. To conclude this lesson, shall we quickly write a small essay question, answer a small essay question, which is discuss how the author shows the eagle as a powerful force of nature in the poem The Eagle. Shall we quickly answer this question? I'm not going to, of course, fully answer this question. I'm going to take the introduction. I will answer with one body paragraph, and I will take the conclusion. I will leave the rest for you to complete, maybe as a homework. You can complete it by yourself. I will explain how to do it as well. But yeah, so are you ready? Shall we proceed with answering the question? I hope that was a yes. I couldn't hear you clearly. Okay. So, yeah. Discuss how the author shows the eagle as a powerful force of nature. First of all, you need to now think. This is where critical thinking comes in handy. Now you need to think how the author shows the eagle as a powerful nature in this poem. Now, you can say your opinion. I won't disturb you or anything. You can say your own idea. As of now, I'm explaining mine. If you have any opinion, a point, you can turn on the mic and speak. So, I would say something like my point. The eagle is shown as standing high above the world. High above the world. Yeah, you can take that as a point. So, you write it down. First point is what? The eagle is shown as standing high above the world. I'm using a really simple language. You can do with an advanced. No, not need. Okay. The eagle is shown as standing high above the world. What is use? High above the world. That is one point. And why would I say that? What I'm trying to prove is this. So my thesis is the eagle, the author shows eagle as a powerful. So this is the argument. This is what I'm trying to prove. Okay. So my point should prove this is true. Point should prove this is true. So for the background, why did I first of all, why did I take this point? Because he is somewhere high above the sky, close to the sun. That also shows how powerful he is, because he is close to the sun, he is above everything else. That's the whole idea. So point is shown as standing high above the world. So the background, as I said, in the background we just explain what is said in the story as it is. So you can say something like the poet, or you can say directly call him by his name, like Tennyson. There is nothing wrong with it. You can simply use one of his first name or last name. Tennyson. Tennyson, what? What's that like? Tennyson, let's say like Tennyson mentions that the eagle stands what close to the sun in lonely lands, right? Close to the sun in lonely lands. That's the background. That is what is said in the poem itself. And see, not poet, it's poet. I have done something special here. So this is exactly a verse line from the poem itself, right? We call this a quotation, a quote, uputanaya, something you extracted from your literary text. And you basically write these things inside these marks, 66 and 99. These are called quotation marks. And there are two ways to quote something from a text. And this is important. In here, I have included, so background comes somewhere in the middle of the body paragraph, right? So in here, I have included this quote within the body paragraph itself. But also, you can simply do this. You can, before the body paragraph, write this quote, close to the sun in lonely lands, and then leave a rule, then start writing your body paragraph. So it's better if you can use another pen, maybe black pen, to write quotes like this. And at the end, you can use this ellipsis. This is called an ellipsis, if I'm not mistaken. 3 dots, basically. Ellipsis. Because these 3 dots, they shows continuation. So the poem doesn't end here. So it has some more lines. Let's say there's another trick in here you can use as well. Let's say you forgot the first part. You can't remember, you can't recall the first part. Therefore, you can use the ellipsis like this. The sun in lonely lands. You can use it like this. There's nothing wrong with it. Or now you can't recall the first part. You can't recall the last part as well. The sun is lonely. So this is not a really good example. If you are talking about a long phrase from Nightingale and the Rose, of course, in such a scenario, this is very practical. But of course, if you can't recall something in the middle, then you can use the ellipsis in the middle as well. So don't do this very often for the poems because else the verse lines will end up like this. You can use this trick, especially for short stories, drama, and all. You can use this trick if you can't recall the first part, middle part, and the ending part. Of course, you can use these things all together. 1, 2, or 3 all together, that's fine. But don't do that for verse lines because it will look a bit weird. Okay, so that method is called box quotes. And basically, you are separating it from the body paragraph and writing it. And basically, in here, in what I wrote, it's included within the body paragraph. So there are 2 methods. You can follow either one of them. That's totally fine. So, unto this point, I have said I have preserved, but I have given my claim. The eagle is shown as standing high above the world. Then I have provided some background, and now I have to justify. Basically, what I'm trying to do is through this background, I'm trying to prove this is true. So how would I do that? You can say something like being positioned high above the world goes to the sun. Yeah, goes to the sun. It does what? We could say sun and rest of the world shows how a new word superior, how powerful, or you could say superior or powerful, use only one word, how powerful the eagle actually is. So this is actually written in passive voice. So usually in active voice, you can say something like the powerfulness of eagle is shown by positioning him high above the world and close to the sun and all. But in academic writing, you can use passive voice to enhance your writing. See what I did there? Being position. So being is a term that we use in passive voice. Being position, past participle. This is basically grammar. I'm not going to deep into explaining grammar, but you can use this passive voice like this. Being positioned high above the world, close to the sun and rest of the world, shows, yes, it will come up, shows how superior or powerful the eagle actually is. It's in passive voice, it's hard to write, but if you master it, your writing becomes like 200 times better. That's another trick. So what I did was basically proved that through this contest, the eagle is shown as something powerful. Or you can give some more. You can add something more to it. Something like what? Higher than any other living being mentioned in the poem. You can add something like that too. But I'm not going to basically type every single thing since we have a limited amount of time. Then from this, we have provided the point shown as standing high. Is high above the sky. The background, he is flying close to the sun. In justification, because he is high above in the sky, close to the sun, it shows how powerful he is. Now, this point is proven. I can simply color this as green. Now, this point is proven. You can agree with me. Now, I should build the bridge, build the link between this point and our main argument. What are we trying to prove? So, for that, I need to write the thesis link. I would say something like, this proves the eagle is presented as a supreme, what else can use? Presented as a supreme dominant. Dominant means above everyone else, dominant force in nature. Now, basically, I wrote the same idea, powerful force in nature, in a different way. The same thing, eagle as a powerful force. The same part, this is the main argument, I wrote it in a different way. Same thing. So it links back to the thesis. That's it. That's all we have to write in body paragraph. This is very short, but you can write this as a paragraph. But first, try to write this like this, P, B, J, and T, because then you have an understanding about what are you writing. Then you are aware of what are you writing, and you can carefully like consider what you should write and what should not write. Now, I didn't go and explain the whole poem in this, right? I said the only relevant part, close to the sun in lonely lands. I didn't explain the whole poem because most children at your age, they make that mistake. They try to explain the whole thing. That's something you should not do. So, in the background, only mention the relevant part, justification, prove your point, and in the thesis relink, through this sentence, it's a must, link your point back to the main argument. So that's point one. We should end this session in a few moments. So what other points can we get? Point number two. We could say something like the world below eagle is made to look small and weak. Yeah, that's a good one. The world below eagle is made to look small and weak. How? You remember the wrinkled sea? So sea is something vast, right? But it says the sea is crawling. Sea is very small and it's crawling. So the sea is wrinkled. So it compares how the world below eagle looks small and weak. Therefore, it shows how powerful the eagle is. So you can simply take this point at the background. The wrinkled sea beneath him crawls, and therefore justify your answer. by saying something like, we could say, by making the vast sea look small and crawling. Tennyson shows how much greater and powerful the eagle is. And you can link back to thesis like this confirms eagle's power is shown through the contrast between the world and the eagle itself. That's how you link things. So finally, the last point you can take is something like last verse line, part point number 3. The eagle's sudden action was unstoppable power. This is the last point you are going to take. Really easy. Eagle's sudden action, this takes to action, shows unstoppable power. How? The background you can provide something like a thunderbolt he falls, just how to show how fast he is. To justify your answer, you can say something like a thunderbolt is something fast, powerful, and impossible to stop. You cannot stop lightning, right? So comparing the eagle's speed and his action to such a force, it shows how powerful the eagle is. And your thesis should be something like it proves the eagle as a, which portrays the eagle as a powerful force of nature. That's it. You can simply break this down to small paragraphs and write it. And yeah, for the conclusion, you can use the same template like before. See, in conclusion, the poem, what? The poem, The Eagle, clearly portrays what? Argument. As a power, the eagle as a powerful force of nature that comes here. The above examples prove how effectively Alfred O. Tennyson displays, portrays eagle as a powerful force of nature in the poem Eagle. That's all you have to write for the conclusion. It's really easy. It's not something really hard, though you have to think a lot about. You just have to organize your ideas, organize your thinking patterns, then break it down to points like this. So it's better if you can first write it down like this and then start writing paragraphs. So there are 2 questions in here actually. So I hope you wrote this part. The first one is to show the eagle as a powerful force of nature. And the second, yep. Okay, so I was having some connected issues. I think you were kicked out of the meeting as well. That's fine. I will quickly uh, summarize this up. Summarize this. So the second question, as I was saying, is about how literary techniques are used by Alfred Tennyson, portraying eagle as a powerful, dominating being. So you can answer the first question. I recommend you to use the PBJT method by separating your ideas into those categories and writing in the first question, and start writing along with paragraphs for the second question. It's much better. So if you can do this and send it to me WhatsApp, that would be much better. As for the summary, I'd ask you to write. You can simply do this. You can write the title, the eagle, summary, and basically summarize what's happening in the story, in the poem, basic idea about what is happening in there, and thereafter the themes that we discussed, and morals, and finally the literary devices. And if you can, it's better to include your opinion about this poem as well. So that's all you have to do. Don't worry, I will upload this recording and send you the link so you can see this final part. I was having some connectivity issues. I will send you a WhatsApp voice note as well about guiding you what to do. So that's it. And once you have sent me this thing, this summary, I will send you the PDF as well. So next week, same time, it's better. Yeah, we are having some connectivity issues. But okay, you joined again. So I was actually trying to record this part and send you. I was having some connectivity issues, and you got kicked out as well. Yeah, don't worry. What all I said was,
Yeah, I'm sorry, I got a call.
oh no, that's totally fine. I was having some connectivity issues as well. That's fine. All you have to do is answer the first question according to the PVJT method. Simply break it down like this and answer the second question like paragraphs. Like paragraphs, maybe use one or two different colors of pens to separate P, B, J, and T in body paragraphs and write accordingly. That's all you have to do. And the summary itself, don't try to write like 2 or 3 pages. Simply summarize what is happening in the poem, what happened, the story, the context. It includes themes, morals, literary devices, where were they, and finally your opinion. If you can, your opinion. What do you actually think about this poem? Simply write it, maybe like 1 or 2 or 3 paragraphs in a 1 page, 1 or 2 pages, and that's fine. 500, 400 words is enough. When you send that, I will send you the note of today's lesson. Thereafter, you can edit your note as well accordingly. That's about it. So, from what you have done today, anything that you have to that I have to explain again, and you have to clear your doubts, or was the lesson clear enough for you to understand, or basically, what do you think about today's session? I hope you can hear me.
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
Yeah. So, what do you think? What's your opinion about today's lesson?
Can you repeat it again?
Yeah, I can hear you. So, do you have any questions? Anything that you have to that I have need to explain again, explain further? I hope not. I'm sure. Okay. So then, yeah.
I understood what you explained, sir.
Okay. So that's about it for today. So we will conclude this lesson from here, and I will of course give you the recording as well. So make sure you answer the 2 essay questions because you have to improve your writing skills. And maybe we will start the short story, and we will do another small poem like this in the next week. And of course, we will be answering an essay question every single day to improve your writing methodology as well. So, yeah, that's about it. Good night and have a nice day. Okay, leave now.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.